The table on the left shows the budgeted establishment of officers alongside the actual officers in community police hubs in August 2018. The table on the right reveals that the number of actual officers in hubs only increased slightly, from 115 in 2018 to 124 in 2025. It is worth noting that while the budgeted number of PCs stood at 65 in 2018, this figure rose to only 77 in 2025, despite 7 maximum increases in the police precept and repeated commitments to increase PC numbers in hubs. The following excerpts from meetings highlight the promised increases in PC numbers, their expected impact on PC hub staffing, and the misleading statements made by senior officers regarding the budgeted establishment.
We have worked at length. Phil has been incredible in terms of the work that he and the finance department have put into this to deliver my requirements, which are now these. That we would, if the panel approves that rise, be able to increase the number of officers so that we recruit 160 new PCs this year, 120 the year after, and between 100 and 120 the year after. So we have planning which allows me to commit to almost 400 officers being recruited for Bedfordshire Police. And all of you who are councillors will want to know exactly what impact that will have for community policing. We are doubling the number of officers coming into the community hubs. And in addition to that, we're creating a troubleshooting team, a neighbourhood intervention team of a sergeant and 9 PCs who will deal with particularly pernicious problems as they arise.
Well, actually, there are some areas that I mentioned where, when I speak to the public, and I know when the Commissioner speaks to the public, there's a very clear message that comes back from them. So the first area that I think we should be outstanding in is around our neighbourhood policing. Now, there's already been significant investment from the Police and Crime Commissioner, and we've been walking towards communities for a period of time while lots of other forces have been walking away. But neighbourhood policing, undoubtedly, has got to be the foundation stone of what we do. People want visible, accessible, knowledgeable, local officers who understand their concerns in their communities. And with the skill and talent that we've got, and the communities we've got, then we should be the very best there is.
PCC Strategic Board minutes show that former PCC, Catherine Holloway, told Chief Constable Gary Forsyth that the 2021-22 police precept money was for 24 PCs, and these officers were all for community police hubs.
A community policing model is based around 2 functions really. One is the local community hubs, and within there we have police officers and PCSOs, including officers of different ranks. The current establishment of that area with regards to police officers and in the main PCs is 67, and we're currently running at 64 against that 67. So in the hub base, there's 3 gaps, but what we have got is we've got a postings meeting coming up, and we're confident that that 67 will be up to full strength by September at the latest.
As we know, we've got the hub model within community policing, and that's where our focus is on this item of the agenda. The establishment should be 67. We are currently at 59.
As you will see in our hubs, we currently have 10 less officers than what we should be having. So we've got an establishment of 67, we've got an actual of 57. Our community hubs is based on having 67 PCs in the model and 47 PCSOs. You'll also be aware that in previous meetings we've reported relatively large vacancies against those numbers. As at this moment in time, so January, we have 65 PCs in post against that 67. So just 2 vacancies, which we are proactively filling. And we have 49 PCSOs against a budget of 47. So we're 2 over on the PCSOs. So whilst we're 2 down on PCs, we're 2 up on PCSOs. So we're in a really good position. And as reported last time, we've got a budget for 67 of those PCs across those hubs. And we currently sit at 65, which is the same as we reported last time round.
So the good news is for our community policing hubs, for our officers, obviously we should have 67. We are running at 66. That is the most populated unit closest to establishment across the force. Just reaffirms our collective commitment to community policing. And in terms of police community support officers, of a total of 47, we've got 45. So in the collective of that resource of 114, we've only got 3 vacancies across the whole area, which I think is the best position that we've reported on at this meeting.
The 2023-24 increase will allow the Chief Constable to do the following. 1. Increase the number in community policing team by 10 extra police officers, which will be spread out over the course of the year.
I know community policing features as an item of interest very much to panel members and indeed residents. We are going to be at our full establishment of community policing officers by the end of this financial year. And in fact, we're going to be over it because we're going to increase the establishment by 10 from the 1st of April. And to make a good head start to that, we're aiming to be around, we'll certainly be at the 67, but by the 1st of April, we're aiming to be around 70 in our community hubs, which is over the current establishment. So everyone will have their community hubs fully populated with officers who have been volunteered, wanted to go there, which I think is a really good news story.
Chief Constables are operationally independent. However, Parliament has given police and crime commissioners the power and duty to set the strategic direction and objectives for the police, which they achieve by creating a police and crime plan. Under UK law, the Chief Constable must support the police and crime plan. Bedfordshire Police agreed to increase PC numbers in community police hubs when planning the budget with police and crime commissioners. However, when the police precept was approved by the Police and Crime Panel, the force never increased the budgeted PC establishment. This suggests the force was never committed to increasing hub numbers, which is further supported by DCC Vajovic saying the force's promise was only an aspiration. Catherine Holloway and Festus Akinbusoy made extra PCs in community police hubs their number 1 priority in their police and crime plans. Chief Constable Rodenhurst has not supported the strategic plans and objectives set by these 2 police and crime commissioners. Executive members have misleadingly continued to claim they are achieving the budgeted establishment. This is troubling when officers are required to be open, honest, and accountable.
Bobby's on the beat, a traditional part of local policing. But today's report warns that neighbourhood policing is being eroded and names Bedfordshire as the worst performing force in the country.
What we found in Bedfordshire is that it is not providing a consistent community policing presence. It's not making sure that it's got police officers in its communities, stopping crime from happening in the first place, taking targeted activity to stop antisocial behaviour from escalating.
Zoe Billingham's 2016 remarks remain relevant, as Bedfordshire Police has yet to deliver the promised enhancements to community policing, despite residents being required to fund them since 2019. It is indefensible for PCC John Tizard to commend failure and assert that residents have been well served.
And the Chief Constable, as you rightly said, Chair, received the King's Police Medal last week. So I don't think I'm in a position to be looking for any of those officers to be standing aside. And indeed, I think we as a county, and we as a police service, and we as a police and crime Commissioner's office are well served by all 3 public servants. So I have no intention of calling for them to resign or hold further to account than I already do.
The concerns raised, in 2016, by HMIC Zoe Billingham about Bedfordshire Police's performance and resource allocation have been a long-standing issue. Ms. Billingham highlighted serious shortcomings, including inadequate community policing, insufficient officers for effective engagement, and inconsistent problem-solving approaches. These systemic issues have persisted over the last 10 years. Bedfordshire residents remain underserved, as Zoe Billingham noted in 2016.